I feel like I have a problem with jealousy, and I'm also just constantly worrying about whether or not my partner likes me or not.
That's fair enough. Can you share an example of where you feel like that's played out?
Well, the other day I was at my partner's workplace and I saw them touching their coworker up and I felt really uncomfortable. I went and told them and I was like, babe, that really made me feel uncomfortable. And they said, you're being too sensitive. And on top of that too, they go out a lot and I don't see them and I'm often wondering whether or not they're able to reassure me.
Well, I can definitely understand why you'd be feeling anxious and jealous, because if I had a partner doing that, I would certainly be feeling anxious and jealous. And if anything, that doesn't sound to me like an unhealthy form of anxious attachment.
I get that, but at the same time, I'm still not sure how healthy my anxious attachment is or whether or not I'm really just being over the top.
That's fair enough. It just sounds like you want to take responsibility for your attachment. Based in my experience with regards to attachment behavior, here's how I look at things. Think of this as the attachment spectrum. You got your secure, avoidant, anxious. So let's slide along here. When we're still operating in the somewhat secure to anxious range, we have flare-ups, as I call them, where we start to feel a little insecure. And we go to our partner to seek reassurance and create that sense of security again, where it's like, babe, I just want to check in with you. How are we going? I felt a little bit anxious over this. Can we have a chat about that? I just noticed that we aren't texting as much. Is it okay if we talk a bit more about that? Because I just want to feel more secure. Fine in my books. Then we get to the insecure stage. This is when we start to feel more increasingly worried. It's characterized by people, feeling like they're repeating the same issues. They also feel like they can't speak up for their own emotional stuff. And it's also when we start to see characteristics like mind reading, expecting our partner to know what we want, which is very unhealthy. And it also can be characterized by jealousy, but to a point where we're not controlling our partner's behavior. Then when we get to the extremely unhealthy side, it's characterized by starting fights to try and get reassurance that our partner likes us. It's also characterized by blowing up our partner's phone 7 times a day to find out whether or not they're still into us. And then when it gets into the borderline narcissistic territory is when our behavior becomes controlling. We start to control our partner's behavior. They're not allowed to hang out with their romantic sexual orientation. They're not allowed to do certain things. We're constantly monitoring them, even stalking them, and wanting to shut them down from doing anything that threatens our security.